So, party for this boss fight. Obviously, we're bringing Kanji. So, Kanji's going to be my first choice here. His SP is a little lower. As for other party members, Teddy has unique dialogue here, but I honestly feel like his unique dialogue is a bit of a mood killer, so I'm not going to bring him specifically for that reason. I might actually bring Chie, because she just got Power Charge, so having 2 Power Charge attackers here will probably do wonders. And then for last party member, this boss can use Heat Riser, but I find it's kind of rare. So Dekaja from Yosuke can be sort of useful. Now, in the original version of Persona 4, I would recommend, if they have their ultimate personas, bringing Yosuke, Kanji, or Chie to this, because their ultimate personas have no weaknesses. This boss is another one like the last one that uses every element, but really, elemental resistances don't mean much for a certain reason. Also, you want items and or abilities that can cure Old Man, and actually for that reason Teddy's Energy Shower is also useful. So useful that he even uses it in the anime. But I kind of want to bring Yukiko here instead of Teddy, because like I said, Teddy's dialogue here is a little bit of a mood kill, I find. And, you know, everyone has less than full HP, so that's a little bit unacceptable to me. And Kanji has to go into this at full SP. Don't really care about not being at full SP for everyone else. I will say that in my opinion, this is the easiest shadow fight in the game. But it's also my favorite one from a story standpoint, and yeah, I'm okay with keeping the agent outfits for this. It fits the dungeon. Now, in terms of equipment, I did find the red battle suit earlier. Reduce visit. Wow, that is good armor, and you know what? I'm giving that to Kanji. Yeah, you can tell that I really want to focus on him in this fight. The weakness suppressor items are also useful to have here, but really, my biggest recommendation is a persona with Makara-kan. And we'll get to that once I get to the fight. Actually, I'll need to heal this up with someone, but Chie plus Amaterasu Fob is not a bad idea. Now she has more health than Kanji. And as far as personas go, I'm going to lead with Yatsufusa for the Auto Mataru. And yeah, I said earlier as well that Zio skills are good for this fight. So Tamalina's going to be my main attacker, while my main support persona is going to be Yatsufusa for the Makara-kan mostly. Okay, let's go to one of my favorite scenes in the game. In fact, I know most of the dialogue in this scene off by heart.
Naoto!
Ah, it's about time you arrived. Dealing with this child has been quite a pain.
Naoto handles their shadow pretty well, actually.
It's useless speaking with you. I need to go back now.
Although at this rate, it's gonna go berserk.
Why? Why are you leaving me here? Why am I always left alone? It's so lonely. I don't want to be alone.
Naoto-kun.
You wear the same face as me. It's as if you're implying we're one and the same. But the difference between me and you is... Why delude yourself? I am you! These childish gestures are no mere affectation. They're the truth! The fools all say it, don't they? You're only a child. Keep out of our business, kid, and so forth! No matter how many cases you spend hours cogitating over, no matter how many crimes you solve, you're a child in their eyes. It's your brain they're interested in, the gray matter locked up in that skull. As long as they need it, you're an ace detective. But once you're done, it's back to the playpen with you. You haven't the means to deal with society's two-faced nature. You're just a lonely child.
Naoto.
I want to be a grown-up. I want to be a big boy right now. Then they'll see who I am. I want a reason for me to stay.
That's enough. I can find my own reason for living. Ha! I'm telling you that's impossible. You are but a child. How can you change that essential truth? Stop it! At your core, you admire the sort of strong and cool men who populate detective fiction. But in trying to emulate them, you must know that in truth, you're nothing of the sort. You're a child. There's no avoiding first principles. Admit that you're a child, and admit that there's nothing you can do about it. Now then, our analysis is complete. Let us begin the body alteration procedure! You have no objections, do you, Naoto Shirogane? Stop it! Naoto. Such a cool, manly name. But a name doesn't change the truth. It doesn't let you cross the barrier between the sexes. How could you become an ideal man when you were never male to begin with?
Wait, what? Did I hear that right? He's not a guy?
I can finally stop hiding it.
I won't throw a tantrum. That accomplishes nothing. How often I've heard those words from the adults. Throwing a tantrum won't solve anything, Naoto-kun, and other such bilge. They made you cry, didn't they? Yet here you are, mimicking those same men. What exactly are you trying to justify? What? It's all right. You needn't suffer anymore. That's why you're undergoing this body alteration procedure to begin with. You throw a tantrum, but it fails to change the situation a single bit. I can quite understand the feeling. After all, I am you.
That's not true! Don't say it!
It's okay. Let the kid spill the whole thing. If not, Naoto's just gonna keep hurting. We'll just do our job and kick the Shadow's ass, yeah?
And here's a series of lines that a lot of Persona 4 parodies miss.
As if you know anything about me. You'll kick my ass, huh? Fine. Go ahead and try, you lizard-brained imbecile!
Save the discussion for later.
Here it comes.
Lizard-brained imbecile this.
I am a shadow, the true self. What? Are you sick of yourselves too? Very well. Then let's begin the special operation.
Bring it on, man! I'll pull you through this!
Have you made up your mind? Then let us commence.
It's a strong one. Don't lower your guard.
Shadow Naoto, resistance to fire, which is a relic from early in development where Naoto was going to be a secondary fire user, and even though it doesn't get a knockdown, she does take 25% more damage from electricity if the SMT wiki is any indication, so that's kind of fitting for this fight. In terms of skills, she has a lot, and she has every element, and her AI tends to prioritize going for weaknesses. But you can try and cover those with Makarakan and Makarakorn if you want. And that I feel is the real secret of this fight. Shadow Naoto really doesn't like Makarakan. This is one of the main reasons why I wanted to farm Korn so much. Because, let's see, who should I prioritize protecting first? I think I'll actually go for Yukiko. You're going to be seeing a lot of Makarakan here. I think Chie... No, I kind of want to get these Makarakans up early. I know I have like 3 Korn. 4 magic mirrors, okay. I should probably save these for later, but I want to set up as many of these as I can. So that people can focus on, for example, since you're already protected, I can magic mirror Chie now. So now everyone except you is protected, and he doesn't have any weaknesses, so I don't need to worry about her getting 1 mores at this point. And Kanji can safely either Masaku Unda or Power Charge, but with the Makarakans, I don't really need to focus on debuffing her defense that much. Okay, you don't see her use physical attacks all that much, so that one kind of surprised me. Let's see, everyone's been Makarakaned, so... She doesn't have light or darkness attacks, which is a little ironic for something we'll be finding out later, so I think I'm safe using Lilith here to Mind Charge. And I guess now that we're in this kind of state, I can start talking about Shadow Naoto symbolically, because I might not have had a lot to say about Mitsuo. I have a lot to say about the symbolism of this fight. I've been really looking forward to this. So, Shadow Naoto looks like a robot, but in particular she looks a lot like those kind of retro toys that children play with, which kind of speaks to Naoto's inner child, and the fact that she has to accept that she's still a child. Also, half of it has an exposed robotic brain. Visually, this is very similar to a tokusatsu hero, that being Kikaida. Oh, of course I missed that. Yeah, you notice that was aimed at Kanji. She likes to target weaknesses. But yeah, Kikaida is a tokusatsu character who looks very, very similar. But I feel like the exposed brain also relates to how the police force treats her. That insecurity she feels about only being valued for her intellect and nothing else. Like, that's the only thing they see when they look at her. But also, her Shadow Form's transformation being a robot is actually really fitting in a few other ways. Well, the obvious thing is that robots don't really have age or gender, so that gets rid of 2 of what Naoto sees as her biggest obstacles to success. But also, it could speak to Naoto's stoicism and the fact that she likes to hide her emotions via, okay, Kanji's at risk of being hit with his weakness. So let's actually just show how much Zerodyne does coming off of Kanji. But in this fight, honestly, Naoto's biggest enemy is herself. Because if you do things right, she'll be repelling a lot of attacks onto her. Well, I mean, I don't know how many people figure out just how well Makarakan works in this battle, but there's another reason why Makarakan is so good against her as well. Let's see, so both Yukiko and Kanji have lost their Makarakan, so I should probably set those back up. And I like to keep Yukiko Makarakan due to her being sort of the primary healer for this fight. But yeah, as I was saying about Naoto's stoicism, the thing that's really interesting is that because she suppresses her emotions, her shadow flips between a crying child and basically a hammy Saturday morning cartoon villain. I really like the way the English version handles this. I think in Japanese what they were going for is a Sentai villain. And if, okay, yeah, Kanji lost his too. If, Tokyo Mirage Sessions of all things is any indication, then, like, mad scientists with giant operating tables are a common type of Sentai villain. So I guess that's sort of what they were going for here.
No, that will never do. Patience must lie still for me to drill proper holes into them.
And in the localization, they went for what I see as the closest English equivalent, a kind of hammy mad scientist from, like I said, a Saturday morning cartoon, which I think fits quite well. Okay, here's her signature move, Element Zero. This is why I said resistances don't really matter all that much. All elemental affinities are now neutral. And in a way, I think that actually fits because it shows how Naoto wants to be treated equally in the workplace. She wants her gender to be no object. And also her age, so that's kind of a nice touch as well. Okay, she is Power Charge, but I would kind of rather everyone get Mataru Kajin right now. I have a lot of items that give that, and now's probably the time to use them. Yeah, here's the uplifting radio. Yes, we're using a lot of items in this fight, which kind of fits Naoto's tactical aspects. I don't remember seeing a thing that's saying Fire Break wore off, so I guess I can try this. Yeah, that still does a little bit. I should probably debuff her defense, though, honestly. Now, please don't miss this time, Kanji. I wanted you to be the star of this. Are you serious? Here's her other signature attack, Old Man Beam.
Senpai, quick, someone heal her.
This attack reduces somebody to 1 HP and inflicts Old Man status, which is literally called, well, innovation in English, which is called aging in Japanese, and that really shows how much Naoto is just desperate to become an adult. Oh, I got one Umrita soda. As you can see, it's also almighty, so Makara-Khan won't help you there. But Makara-Khan actually does help you against one of her attacks. And she does not have enough HP to cast physical skills. It's sort of interesting how she kind of tries to block you from attacking her physically via reducing your HP to 1, since, yeah. That also, oh yeah, I was going to wait until Yukiko healed her, so for Chie, I think I can probably just go for... I wish there were debuffing items like there are in Persona 5, but there aren't in this one. Okay, yeah, Yukiko was going to heal here. But right, what I was saying about the emotions. One other thing about Naoto that I find interesting is that we haven't really seen this side of her yet, we'll see this later, but whenever she gets into a situation that makes her feel anxious or scared, she has a habit of retreating into cold facts and logic as a way of reassuring herself. And that might also show in her Shadow's Berserk form being a robot. Could also be like how other people see her. Just, it's often a common insult to call somebody a robot if they seem emotionless or they don't like interacting with others. That's another aspect to that. As you've also seen, Naoto doesn't really get on that well with other people. As spoken in the anime by Kanji, I suck at making friends too, but who gives a... Yeah, I don't like swearing in my commentary, but trust me, that moment was awesome in the anime. Speaking of, like, not awesome though, come on Kanji, please be as awesome as you were in the anime version of this fight. Okay, there we go.
Why must you struggle so much?
Okay, good, the evade fire kicked in there. And yeah, you have to sit through all of the elements reverting. I still haven't had a chance to show what my favorite aspect of Makara-Khan in this fight is, but I might get that chance at some point. Right now, she seems to be very focused on fire. If it doesn't happen by the end of the fight, I'll just tell you all what happens, because it's actually really cool, and I might want to reload a save to try and show it. I have not got Ultra Charge on Risei yet. Yeah, all of our affinities are back. Okay, you are not power charged. Let's power charge you again. And I probably need to unleash that Mind Charge Zerodyne soon. Fire affinity reverted. We're okay on HP right now, I think, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a, Should I do this? I am Mind Charged on you. Maybe I should save that until later in the fight, though. I'd probably get more productivity out of debuffing Naoto's defense, actually. One more magic mirror. I guess now it's finally time to dip into my supply of corn. 3 Makara corns. I guess I'll give it to Kanji. So, with a lot of that out of the way, I can also mention that the reversed Wheel of Fortune Arcana is one of the few that can have a positive meaning in some contexts. It can mean finally making your own fate and breaking free of cycles. But it can also mean blind submission to fate, which I guess is kind of similar with Naoto. She does talk a lot about how society is just, it's impossible for her to succeed in her dream of becoming a detective if she's a woman, and yet she isn't really doing much about it herself. She's more acting a bit resigned to her fate. In fact, I just noticed, like, watching the opening of this fight again, so much of what Shadow Naoto is saying is extremely Persona 5. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but, like, Kanji and Naoto in particular are both, I mean, Risei to some extent, but for her it's more a case of, one particular Japanese industry, but Kanji and Naoto in particular have a lot of criticism in their arcs about Japanese culture. And that's where I can finally address the elephant in the room. So, yeah, the fact that she talks about a body alteration procedure and talks about wanting to be a man...
Why won't you lie down and die? You children can't do anything at all!
has led to a lot of people believing that Naoto's plot is about transgender issues. It definitely isn't. Unlike Kanji, where it's a bit ambiguous, with Naoto, her issues entirely stem from the fact that she identifies as female. She feels that she won't be taken seriously in the police field as a woman, and that is something that's a very relevant issue for Japan, because Japan's police force, as I saw in an analysis video on Makoto in Persona 5, like, less than 2% of the police force is women, and Japan has a very rigid sense of gender roles that often prevents a lot of women from advancing very far in the workplace, not just in traditionally male-dominated fields, in all of them. I think the main issue is that whole body operation procedure, which the thing is, here's something that I don't think is addressed a lot. I actually wonder whether it's supposed to be her giving herself an adult body. Like, actually, you know, forcibly aging herself. Because that could be another thing, and given how much she talks about being a child before she mentions you don't have to suffer anymore thanks to the body procedure, maybe that's what she was actually getting at. It's, again, an angle that I almost never see talked about. And considering that one of the main status ailments you have to deal with in this fight is innovation, and this is, by the way, this is the fight where I got the old man joke from, because in the anime, she hits Yu and Yosuke and Teddy with that attack, and they literally turn into old men. And that's why I will always call that status old man. The other thing as well is Japan's cultural issues regarding cross-dressing, which there's probably not enough time to go into now.
It's over.
In Japan, the majority of cross-dressing is almost always a reference to either The Rose of Versailles, a very popular manga, or the Takarazuka Review, whereas in Western cultures, we're used to many types of media not being able to get away with showing gay or transgender characters, and because of this, they would use cross-dressing to codify characters that way without actually saying it. Finally, Ultra Charge. Came at just the right time, and, I seriously want, okay, don't have enough SP to Medea Rahan, people, which is what I kind of actually want to do at this point. I don't want to waste a bead right now, because I know that she's gonna go down, but I really, really, really want Kanji to finish this. That might potentially get me killed if I do this stupidly. Okay, I'll antibiotic gel Yu Narukami. Now I'm wishing I actually had Tarukaja on Chie, because that would buff Kanji. I might already be attack buffed, but I'm gonna do this just in case. Looks like I wasn't. And I guess you can Medea Rama.
Persona.
Rise helping out again, because rank 7 is busted. Okay, now I would have enough for, that thing I wanted to do with you, but we're focused as well. I could maybe do this with Zeodyne. I mean, this is all really just kind of an honor before reason thing anyway, but, let's go. Please don't miss this time. There we go. Yeah, I want it to be Kanji. But I will say the anime really, really didn't help the transgender thing, because there, in the English dub, they actually used the term reassignment surgery, which I actually think they really shouldn't have done. I was rewatching that episode recently, and when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, wow, that was a really bad call on the English dub's part.
I leveled up.
Because one thing that I have actually seen talked about in some articles is that, and this is the view that I personally agree with the most, it's that Naoto was definitely not intended to be transgender.
So Naoto-kun was a girl.
And Naoto's story was not and there's nothing really inherently transphobic, I think, in her story, except for the fact that Shadow Naoto uses the term body alteration procedure as a way of being the indication of how Naoto should not handle her issues. Like, shadows are basically the whole what not to do of the party for all their various issues, and the fact that it has some imagery that could be seen as evoking transgender issues, that's really the main issue here. Naoto herself, her arc is more about dealing with sexism in Japanese society, and especially in the police force.
Are you awake?
Where am I? I remember you all arriving, and... That's right. You saw everything. I lost both my parents in an accident. I was still young, so my grandfather took me in. I was inept at making friends, so I spent my time reading detective novels in my grandfather's study. When I grow up, I'm gonna be an awesome hard-boiled detective. My parents were proud of their job. I had no qualms about following in their footsteps. An inherited occupation can feel stifling to many, but I welcomed it. I yearned for the day I could be a detective myself. Perhaps I inherited that desire from them as well. I was always alone. Seeing that, my grandfather must have believed it was his duty to help me realize my dream. I secretly aided my grandfather with his clients, and before I knew it, people started calling me Junior Detective. At first I was delighted, but not everything went so smoothly.
What was that you said about you're only a child?
Not everyone welcomes my collaboration when it comes to solving cases. My status as a child was sufficient to offend many of those whom I worked with. Were that the only issue, then it would have resolved itself with time. But though I will one day change from a child to an adult, I will never change from a woman to a man.
Do you not like being a girl? Is that why you always dressed like a boy?
My sex doesn't fit my ideal image of a detective.
This is one other aspect of her story that in some ways is kind of more relevant now with issues about representation in media.
Besides, the police department is a male-oriented society. If they had the slightest concrete reason to look down on me, no one would need me anymore.
You don't know that.
Hey. You must know already that what you yearn for isn't to become an adult or become a boy.
You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I kept ignoring you, pretending you didn't exist. But you are me, and I am you. You've always been inside me. What I should yearn for, no. What I must strive for isn't to become a man. It's to accept myself for who I really am.
One thing I will praise about the English dub of the anime, though, is that there, she actually says, accept you just as you are, and I think that makes it even more powerful.
In any event, you're a devious bunch. I can't believe you kept something like this hidden for so long.
Well, nobody would have believed us. I mean, you didn't when Yukiko drunkenly blurted it out.
No wonder the perpetrator has eluded the police. But it's apparent now, this case is far from over.
That's right. And you proved it, Naoto. Anyways, we can talk more later. We need to get you out of here.
Hey! Hey!
Sheesh, she really put her life on the line for this. But without her efforts, we'd never have realized that the culprit is still at large.
You're too frickin' reckless, damn it.
I never doubted that you'd all come for me. Although the reality turned out to be far beyond what I'd imagined.
What a dumbass. You're no genius at all. We were tearing our hair out over you.
Well, mostly you.
So you did worry about her, Kanji? Oh.
Shut up. Mind your own damn business.
And Reese is a shipper now.
I'll take her home. I don't think she can go back by herself.
It's all right. I can...
No way, Missy! Don't think that doing everything on your own is the adult thing to do. Come on, let's go. Grab on.
Boarded up lab. Well, I'll just say, it's a little further than boarded up in the anime.
Hey! Welcome back.
And it looks like it's someone else's turn to be drunk for a change.
Sorry, we got off early today.
Come on, take a seat. They found Naoto-kun. Oh, do you know who Naoto-kun is? He just up and vanished without a word. But it looks like he's back now. Way to put a scare into everyone. Heesh.
You don't seem surprised. You didn't already know he was found, did you?
You really ought to do something about that habit of yours, Dojima-san. They go to the same school. Rumors spread fast out here, you know? But man, why'd Naoto-kun disappear? I guess he can be a little difficult. Maybe he got sulky after being given the boot and ran away from home. But I tell ya, I was shocked to hear that he up and vanished like that. If there'd been a fourth kidnapping and murder, we'd be back to square one again.
Well, no murder, but you're pretty close to the mark there.
Adachi.
You know what sucks? We still don't have proof that the Kubo kid murdered anyone besides Mr. Muraoka. How are we gonna make a case like this? I wonder if Dojima-san's instinct is right. Maybe there really is another perp out there. The real one.
I had a feeling Dojima suspected that much.
Adachi, how many times I gotta say it? Quit running your mouth like that.
Well, sorry.
All right, see here. Don't worry about the case. Just go study like a normal student. If you don't... I'm going to bed.
Right now, I'm pretty sure he knows that we've got some involvement.
Sorry, I killed the mood there. But yeah, I can totally understand why Dojima-san's worried. Just leave the case to us police. You know the problems it could cause if something happened, right?
Well, yeah, but we also have one of the police with a persona now, so...
Like, if it happened you were mixed up in it, we'd be real worried.
Are more scary things gonna happen?
No way, Nanako-chan. Everything's alright now. We caught the bad man, so no more scary things will happen, right? Everything's just fine.
Okay.
Anyways, your dad's just a worrywart. Leave it to me. You might not know to look at me, but I got the most brains in the whole police department.
Yeah, right.
Oh, was that too hard to understand? Did you get it? Well, now that Dojima-san's gone, I should get going too. Good night.
Can you even get home safely? Well, he's gone.
What does got brains mean?
I like this option. I was about to say it means you're a zombie.
An athlete? I really don't get it.
Although I guess it's kind of unfair to say that athletes aren't, that all smart people aren't athletes, because that's not true. I'm sure many athletes are very, very intelligent, and there are a lot of intelligent people who are athletes. Okay, here's the thing in this fight that I wanted to show. I'm gonna start by Makara-kan / Makara-corning everyone. I have a different party, but it's the same difference. This move, for some reason, she never showed during the main fight. So with Teddy using this, the entire party will have reflectors up now. And of course she uses it first turn this time. Mute Ray, if it hits a reflector, will be bounced back and it will silence Shadow Naoto, one of the few times that you can inflict a status ailment on a boss in this game. As you can see, the attack normally inflicts a small amount of HP and SP damage and also silences. And I have no clue what element this is supposed to be, since it appears to be almighty, but it can be reflected.